quality shot right there.
Your official home for Beavers sports. On the campus of Bemidji State University, this is The Huddle with Zach Lunt and Dan Amundsen. The Huddle starts now.
Welcome to The Huddle. I'm your host, Zachary Lunt, and my co-host up here is Dan Amundsen.
How you doing today, Zach?
Pretty good. How about you?
Not too bad.
That's good. All right, Dan, we'll start off with softball. Right now, they are 3-3 in inside conference play. Do you think they can play a lot better in conference?
Well, I think so because we looked at the non-conference schedule and they're 20-10 overall. So you look at that non-conference schedule, they played really, really well. But now they've gotten into conference play, and you see this in a lot of other sports. For example, look at the Gophers men's basketball team. They did the same thing. They started off really hot, red hot, ranked in the top 25, I think, at one point. Then they got into the Big Ten play, and they really kind of started to fall apart. And everyone's like, well, I don't know if they're even going to make the NCAA tournament. So same thing could be happening. You play some kind of cream puff teams in the non-conference schedule, and now you're into your conference play, and these are better teams. And your season not necessarily might fall apart, but it might not be as great as everyone was expecting it. You see a hot start like they had, you might not get that hot finish, to say.
Yeah. Do you think with the softball team being 20-10, do you think they can stay above 500?
Oh yeah, I think so. That'd be a big drop to make, to lose 10 games at this point without winning a single one. Now, granted, we've seen Beaver Sports do it before, so it's very, very possible. But I don't really think that'll happen. I think they're going to be our team to watch this spring. I think they're playing pretty well, and all of our women's sports have actually done pretty well this season. So I think they're going to continue that trend and keep playing pretty well.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into baseball here, Dan. So we got the Beavers are on a 5-game losing streak. What can they do?
Well, there is good news that they are now on a 5-game losing streak, because I think before when we did the show, it was like a 15-game losing streak or 13-game losing streak or something. So that means they won a game. They have won one more game. Now they have 2 wins on the season. So, hey, they won one. But what do you do at this point? I don't know. You can't just say throw it in, just call or quits, because you can't do that. Athletes don't do that. You've always just got to be working to get better. Work to get better, work to get better, work to get better. If you're the coaching staff, you got to maybe make decisions about, hey, do we start taking some of the seniors out and throwing in younger kids, get them experience, stuff like that, because we're clearly not going anywhere this year. And yeah, you feel a little obligated to play those seniors just because they're seniors. They might never get to play baseball ever again. So you don't want to take away that opportunity, but at the same time, you got to think of the good of your program, and that might be the way to go. Just trying to get everybody experience, get everybody better, and try and get better for next year, which I know, looking at the history of this program, might not happen, but that's what they're probably going to have to look at doing.
Yeah, and with baseball, do you think it's just the people they're playing against are just really good teams, or is the Beavers just not that good?
I don't. Their conference isn't great. I hate to say that. Don't take this the wrong way. I don't think they're all that great of a team. I don't think they've ever been that good of a program. And you look at why. If you're a top baseball player, a top prospect, A, you're going to look at going Division I, and we're a Division II school. But B, so say you're now a good Division II player who's looking for somewhere to play. Do you want to go, and say you even want to stay in Minnesota, do you want to play at a school like Bemidji State where our field is swamped and still has a little bit of snow on it, and what has melted is standing water in the infield? Or do you want to go play down at Mankato where it's a little bit warmer, or down in a school in Iowa or something that you're going to get to play more, you're going to have better facilities, you're going to get to be outside, play at your home field? We just don't have that. We're in an unfortunate location for baseball, and I think that keeps a lot of people from coming here to play. And we're just not a big, quite frankly, except for hockey, we're not a big athlete school. We've got decent football teams, basketball teams for Division II sports, but baseball just doesn't seem to be one of them.
Yeah. Do you think that the baseball team should get a new field, like a turf field, or?
If I had the decision, if it was my decision, I had the money to do it, I would 100% put in turf to this field. You're seeing a lot of high schools starting to do that down in the city. I know Minnetonka, they've had one for a while. I know Woodbury's going to go to a turf field here pretty soon because they've had problems. Like, take last season, for example, they actually had to go over to Minnetonka to play games. And I think Bemidji State was actually playing down at Minnetonka High School because it's one of the few turf fields in the state. And with that turf, you can get those snow blowers and I don't even know what you'd call them, but different machines with, like, you get the tumbler thing. I don't even know how to call it. You can get that out there and just get that snow right off without having to worry about tearing up grass or anything.
Yeah.
Just get it cleared off. It melts faster because those black pebbles heat up faster, so it's going to melt faster. And granted, I hate playing on turf. I always hated playing on a turf field. Unless it was really cold or something, then it just kind of felt good. But I'd still like to play on grass and dirt, but Bemidji State would be an absolutely great place to have a turf field.
Yeah, and I think this the softball team actually played their most recent game actually at the Chet Anderson Stadium.
Yeah, they did. Yep. Yeah,
and they just put the plates out there and they just ran through that. And actually, they were just using all turf. There was no, I don't know if they put sand out there or anything.
No, they didn't. They wouldn't have. They put up a little makeshift fence.
Yeah.
And that's what you do on a turf field. You would make the whole thing turf, which, yeah, is unfortunate. I know some schools also are going to like even just a turf home plate and a turf mound because that's the two parts of the field that requires the most maintenance. You get turf, it's a lot less maintenance, but that turf would be beneficial up here, because the baseball team can't go play down at Chet Anderson. It's not big enough, but softball can because you're only looking at 200-foot fences.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into the Beavers track and field because they got some exciting news.
Yeah.
They got first place in the St. John's Invitational. What do you think about this?
Well, honestly, it was kind of a little bit of surprise. We haven't talked much track. I haven't really paid attention to much track. That's just not kind of my forte. It's not really what I'm looking at sports. Oh, okay, track and field. But they caught my eye that, hey, they kind of went down and dominated this invitational tournament or meet, whatever you call it. So that's pretty cool. That's great. It's stuff like that. And again, are we known for our track and field? No, but now you're kind of one of those people who goes to a school and, yeah, I want to run track in college. I'm not necessarily D1 or something. I like the Northwoods. I like being in Minnesota. And, oh, look, that's something Bemidji State kind of puts on their resume for recruits and say, yeah, we can go win. And you look at that and say, yeah, that's a team I might want to be a part of. Whereas like our baseball team, everyone they keep losing and you don't want to go there. And so it's wins like that they can kind of add to their resume and recruits look at that and really like.
Yeah, and out of all of the events, they had 6 first place awards gone out to their players, and they also had 17 of the Beavers in the top 5.
Yeah, that's
which
pretty
is
sweet.
Really impressive
pretty
for
sweet.
the Beavers. And then for the final scores, at least, we had for the Beavers, it was 114, and then the second place was 94 points, which is a 20-point difference.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about a lot of tracks, but to me, that's a very big deal to me.
Yeah, assuming they don't get about 50 points for whatever happens each time. 20 points seems like a big difference, so I would say that'd be a pretty good domination. And granted, again, I don't know the schools they were running against and they're doing events against, so I don't know how good they were. Might have been a tournament that maybe wasn't as strong, but either way, it's still pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, that's all we got for this week. We'll see you guys next week.